Hello, it's We here from WeCon Wargaming, and I've just returned from Daboyzgt from 2017. What an event! Oh, it was a great turnout. About 22 people were there. Unfortunately, a couple of people had to drop, and I think we were originally at 28, but them's the breaks. That happens in tournaments. Results. Overall, I ended up with 10th place result, which I think is pretty decent. You know, the Boyz is not a pure um, battle system, so there's a heavy component of painting and sportsmanship that's part of that. Apparently, I'm a very bad sport because never got any votes. That's fine. I mean, life can't control that. So, a couple thoughts on the Boyz. Number one, there was a great turnout. I think overall, very positive vibe, especially within the Age of Sigmar community. A lot of friendliness, let's say, and maybe it's being like directly adjacent to 40K, but Age of Sigmar crew, it was a very enthusiastic bunch, I'll say, and I would say there was a pretty good diversity of lists. I mean, let's take the top three. So, actually, the army that won Best General, who had I played in Game 2, was a Seraphon list. It was a very, very tough list. And you'll see snippets of the video. Unfortunately, my video rig and all that stuff. This is a very bootstrap operation that I'm running over here. So, the video quality, I can up it. The sound quality, I can up it. One of the big problems I had was really that the battery that I had with my camera. I bought this camera used, and the battery was really not lasting very long. So, the videos where they are longer, the game is fully broadcast, or mostly broadcast, is because I was able to get to a wall charger. Everything else, I just depended on my battery, and so the video would cut off once the battery died. So, look forward to those. I'll try to explain, I think, in the video what happened and, in the game, so that way you get a sense for what happened. But there'll be some video. I think I'll post one with commentary on it and one without commentary on it. So, like, completely raw, and you could just like listen if you want. If you could just listen to the whole thing raw. I don't care. Do what you want. Yeah. So overall, the Canadians took it. The overall awards went to Curtis, I believe, for first. He had Daboyzgt. I don't know exactly what his list was, but looked pretty good. Not that many Skyfires. Really, I think like there only like 6. I don't know. Then Harry Kwan with the Fire Slayers also did really well. He was able to take a victory from the guy that won Best General, so that's saying something. And Zach, I can't recall his last name, but Zach. We'll just go with Zach. And I also played him Game 3. He had this awesome vampire army. Like a bunch of Blood Knights and a vampire on a zombie dragon. It was really cool. It was also devastating to my rats. I don't know what to do with that against that list. I'll have to think about it. Stabby monks. That's all I can do. Just more stabby monks. In terms of the way my list performed, in some ways I think it performed the way that I thought it would perform. In other ways, I did not really play it right. I'm still pretty new to Sigmar, all told. Like, I don't really get as many games as I ought to expect any better result. And clearly, the guys that finished ahead of me, they did their shit. So, no complaints on my end. But one of the key things I learned is that, I'm taking the Plague Priest with Warp Tip Staff. Why? What is the point of taking that guy? I'll have to give that tip to Mike V, who I lost to, who's the Best General. from the Wobbly Modelers. He's like, why don't you take the Play Priest with the sensor in the book? I'm like, I know there's one with a sensor, and when I looked at him, I thought that, well, he has the same abilities, like the same prayers. I was looking at the prayers, basically, and I was like, well, it's the same prayer as the one with Warp Tip Staff, and then the one with Warp Tip Staff comes with the, Plague Furnace that I have, so I was lazy. I didn't read the rest of the War Scroll, but this book is awesome. So, and it costs the same point, so I don't really see why I wouldn't take it, right? Like, and really, the priest shouldn't be getting in combat, so why not take a free book that gives me a pretty good ability, I'd say. Giving rerolls to hit, I want to say, for a unit within 13 inches once per game. Why not? It's free. Yeah, I'll do it. The other thing that I learned is that Verminlord Corruptor. It doesn't really pull his weight. What's the most he did? He prayed, and some things he got in combat and basically did nothing. People don't even really prioritize him. Like, people didn't shoot at him. They shot at the Plate Claw catapults, if anything. Or they would, cast spells on my Warlord or anything. Like, he was not a priority to kill at all. So, I thought that, like, well, he could be a big distraction. People knew. He stinks. And I agree. He's not good. I love the model. I spent a lot of time painting him. But, some models are kind of just fun, more for fun. That's the hobby side, is that's just the paint. Not the play. Let's be real. So, how would I change that? I'm going to swap out my priest with... and the last thing I learned about my list. Whew, those woe staves. What is the point, really? If I'm not using the command trait from the Verminlord Corruptor, which I wasn't, because, Inspiring Presence is 1 million times more necessary than +1 attack, I don't really see the point of going stick knife. You know what I'm saying? Just go double knife. And I say, oh, well, I get another row in. It's like, okay, but, then you have 2 rows that are, like 2 ranks that are basically nowhere near as effective. It's like, well, get an extra rank in of 4+, 5+. Who cares? It's like, you have so much lower of an efficiency. That was largely a laziness factor on my end, honestly. Like, I already had Plague Monks with, woe staves attached, because that was from, I don't know, 6th edition or something. But, lesson learned, I'm gonna rip off those woe staves and slap on some knives. And, yeah. So, list design-wise, I think that's basically the main changes I'll make. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the Verminlord in terms of points. Add another priest and a Plate Claw catapult. I don't know, maybe. I have the points to accommodate that. I think that's the most likely route, but we'll see. And one last thing. I don't really have something written in front of me. The overall results were awesome. So I mentioned the 3 lists, and they were all Canadians, all from the same store, Young and Lawrence. So congrats to them. They have a great community out that way. I really need to be coming out to play against those guys, because obviously they know their shit, and I should be really sharp honing my skills with them, because it's not like any of them play against Gavin Pestilence either. So, or maybe they do, I don't know, but I'd like to get out there and see how my army measures up. And obviously, guys that place top 3 like that would be good people to compete against, learn, and bounce ideas off of, etc., etc. So I just gotta be less lazy and less antisocial, apparently. So, anyways, upcoming things, upcoming coverage. I'm gonna be aiming to go to this event at Lords of War. Hopefully I can bring a camera in and record it. Yeah, we'll see. And I'll hopefully be able to provide that coverage soon. And then after that, there's a Forbes event in Cambridge, Ontario. They have about like 12. It's about a 12-man event in early January. And I'll bring footage of there. Other than that, I think you'll get a smattering of other coverage from, Clarence or Joe or Yoshi or or Kieran. You know, playing 40K largely, I think. Maybe some Shadespire. I don't know. Well, I'll put that in a different playlist. But yeah, that's basically it. So have a good one.